Welcome, everybody, to your angel messages for all 12 signs. Hi, everybody. I'm Devon, Duerr, angel intuitive and spiritual teacher. And today we're using a new deck, the Ascended Masters deck. Now, this is fun to explore if you've never really looked into that. And where we are at this current time of year, the time that I am recording these messages, we are talking a lot about ascension. It's energy. It's in the world. We even have the traditional holiday coming up and religious day of Easter right around the corner at the time I'm recording these messages. So again, it's about ascension and rising, right? So you can listen to these messages anytime they come across your path. I want to remind you that your spiritual team is highly efficient. They know when you are going to see these messages, when you're going to hear them. So make sure you grab your journal and write down anything that resonates with you, especially if you feel any sensations in your body or it makes you think about a person, a place, or an event. Also, we are going to be going through all 12 signs, and I encourage you to listen to all 12 because we have all 12 in our birth charts. So you don't need to know anything about astrology, you just need to listen and see what resonates. So we'll start with your Celtic cross energy to go through the overall as we always do. Then I'm going to go through all 12 signs using 3 different decks. One of them will be the Ascended Masters deck, and then we will do your bonus messages. So make sure you're staying tuned to the end, tuned in, I should say, so that you can see the actions to take. I love to say, okay, here's the energy, here's the guidance. Now, what actions do we take? So we'll be doing that at the end here. And I just felt like this is a really good topic to talk about. Now, for me, when I use this deck, a lot of times I'm not that familiar with the energy. So what I encourage you to do is if you hear a message around the energy of an ascended master, it could be an invitation for you to explore that energy, learn about that ascended master. So I will make sure it is on screen where you can see the spelling and you can go look it up. That's what we have the wonderful internet for. And I just wanted to see what kind of energies will be working with us at the time you come across this video, at the time of all this conversation around ascension. Now, I do always love hearing where everybody's tuning in. So please let me know in the comment section below where you're tuning in from. I read every single one of your comments and it makes my heart soar to connect with you. Even if it's later on the recording, I always read them and appreciate it. And then we are going to go over to my other camera so you can see the cards as we're going. I'll be switching back and forth and we will be doing some pocket affirmations because I definitely want us to take advantage of this energy by affirming a lot of the guidance. We might even get some journaling prompts in there. That's why I said make sure you are writing down anything that resonates with you because hindsight is one of the most powerful tools for deepening your connection with the angels. Also, you are giving your future self a gift when you track these things because then later you can go back and say, wow, I really was being guided, or wow, that's what they were trying to tell me. And it deepens that bond and your future self is going, I'm so grateful I have this evidence that I was connecting with my spiritual team. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Hello to all my amazing subscribers. It's always great, so great to see you here. Remember that I always say a prayer of protection, that I only connect with God's highest vibrational beings. And also, your spiritual team is not just your guardian angel, it's also passed away loved ones, spiritual guides, spiritual teachers. That's why I said ascended masters. That's what we're talking about, spiritual teachers. So you could have ascended masters that are working with you on your team, and even spirit animals, passed away animals that were a big part of your life. So be open and aware of things as you're listening. Since this is a little broader reading, sometimes we'll do a topic like we're just talking about life purpose, or if you missed my Monday one, check that one out. Every Monday and Wednesday live, I come live with you and we do the angel messages, and sometimes we have topics, sometimes I have guests, which, spiritual alert, my good friend Chris Reck from Minopon Tarot will be back on my channel the last Wednesday of the month. So I will make sure to get that scheduled as soon as I can so you can hit the notify me button. I already have next week's live scheduled as well. You can hit notify me on those if you want to make sure you are here live. But I just wanted to remind you that, there's a lot of beings, amazing high vibrational beings on our spiritual team. And I am very intentional about who I connect with. And I always say that prayer protection. If you'd like to see what my prayer protection is, it is linked below. You can get it for free, download it, and it's a wallpaper for your phone. There's 3 different options there. All right, so let's hop into the Celtic cross here. Thank you all so much for being here. It was kind of an interesting morning. I had a lot of things popping up on my radar a lot sooner than I thought. So I didn't get to lay these cards out all perfectly neat, like my Capricorn rising likes to do. Hey, Daisy, good to see you there. Hello, Casglow, Blondie, Darby's here from Oregon. Love it. Hey, Janie from NYC. Hubert, good to see you. Oh, thank you for the happy early Mother's Day. That's right around the corner, isn't it? Hard to believe. Yes, I feel the tribe energy, Darby. I definitely do. Thank you. So here we have my Celtic cross laid out. I'll try to get it a little straighter for you. So this is kind of giving us an idea of what our spiritual team is already working on us with, giving us a heads up about. So make sure you are grabbing your journal and writing down anything that resonates with you, so that if it's anything to do with relationship, is it anything to do with career, finance, legacy, if you're retired, legacy, or health and fitness, like what's been on your mind lately? Just kind of see what pops up for you there. That can be super valuable. So let's start with the heart of the spread here. Our first card we have, I like this card for the spread. It says 10 of fire. Now, I don't read literally, I read intuitively, but this card does say too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. So, one of the things that I think is important to keep in mind here is think about what feels overwhelming in your life right now. That's why I always talk about using those 3 areas of your life: your relationships, not just romantic, your career and finances or legacy if you're retired, and of course, your health and fitness. What has been challenging for you? Have you been experiencing some stress-related health concerns because there is too much going on? And how can you accept help from others? That's one of the things the angels wanted to remind us, is it's okay to ask for help with things that you've started if you feel overwhelmed, because we're not meant to do this alone. So I know for me, there are certain projects I have going around in my house. I even have some secret projects I'm working on behind the scenes with this business, and I do need help from others in order to be able to get it done, and I do need to take some time to slow down. So here in the US, we have the holiday weekend coming up. For many around the world, do take off this Friday, right, for Good Friday, or Monday with Easter Monday. So maybe there's some time to slow down and really get present for you and think about where are some areas in my life where I am overburdened, and maybe I could accept a little bit of help and it would free me up for other things, especially getting rid of any kind of stress-related health concerns. So let's move on to the crossing energy, because we're going to have so much guidance coming in here. I'll straighten this out for you. We have the awakening card. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. Well, when I see this card in this position, which is kind of known as the challenging card, or the crossing energy, it's the energy that's challenging us or causing us to feel stuck, which is just an illusion. There's always another creative solution to get out of whatever that stuck energy is. But what I see this energy for most of us is things are not moving forward the way we want them to. And we are being asked to look at that as an opportunity, right? Looking at it from a different perspective. It's like, I thought these things were going to be done by now, but they're not done. Or I thought I would have heard back from that person by now, but I still haven't heard anything. And this is an opportunity to really reflect, try to look at things from a different perspective. I always like to use that example of when we are really in divine flow and we are really trusting our signs, then we can see the way that temporary delays or standstills are in our highest interest. Like the real simple example of, maybe you have to spend 10 minutes looking for your keys or your cell phone because you're not sure where you put them. And then you start to feel a little rushed, but you say, you know what? I trust divine timing. I will often call on my angels to help me still safely get where I need to go on time. And then you find out that if you had left 10 minutes earlier, you would have caught a train, or you would have been maybe part of a little fender bender. You drive by later and you were free and clear. So we always want to look for the opportunity and why something is a temporary standstill. So that's the crossing energy there. So what's the first thing that came to mind for you when you think about, oh man, I really thought things would have moved forward by now? So let's see what's coming up in the subconscious energy here. We have the renewal energy, review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. We had this energy a lot with the coming up towards the full moon. If you missed my full moon all signs reading last Wednesday, we are still in that energy. So I advise you to go back and listen. Also, if you did already listen to it, you might want to use that gift of hindsight. Listen again and see, oh, wow, okay, this is where that energy was guiding me. And of course, put it in your journal because there are things that we're still feeling right now. And a lot of times the things that are being revealed and released with the full moon, we don't actually realize what they are until a week, 2 weeks, maybe not even until the new moon or the following full moon. So it's still powerful to pay attention to the guidance you were getting with that. And there was so much guidance around moving in a new direction. So that's why this challenge card here of look at things from a different perspective is in the crossing energy, because you might be feeling challenged to see, how am I supposed to go in a new direction? How am I going to do that? Or I want to move in a new direction, but I haven't heard back from this person. I haven't heard about this job. I haven't heard about this opportunity to move or make a change with a relationship. So just trust that it's coming from this release here that you are going to gain power. And of course, we'll get into your personal power here. We'll have some pocket affirmations, but let's see what's coming up in the recent past for you. We have, again, the release card. So this is referring to that full moon. We did get this card last week, I believe, as well. It says the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So we've all been going through this. We've been going through this with these eclipses we just went through. There are things you're releasing, you're moving in a new direction. Maybe there's been something in your life that you've just really had an issue with, and you've decided, you know what, I can't change this anymore. I'm just going to release and let go and just trust divine timing and divine flow, and I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I am getting, for some of you listening right now, it has to do with a family member. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a child, parent, sibling, aunt, uncle, but there's something going on where you've been really working to be supportive and try to look at things differently, but things are just not moving in the different direction. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to send that person love, send that relationship love, and move on. For some of you, this could be people you work with, and they're just not listening to your ideas, and you're feeling like, I'm not being appreciated here, and I don't think this is going to turn out well. But it's kind of like you have to say, well, I'm just going to let it be, and I'm going to move on. And that energy is going to really help you with getting into a space of seeing things from a different perspective. So letting the chips fall where they may, letting things go and letting other people just do what they're going to do, and you do what you're going to do, the you do you thing. Go focus on your creative projects. This is where your power comes in. And I see that for a lot of you, you've been doing that. That's why this card is coming up in the recent past. You've already acknowledged, like, hey, it's time to move on for this. Like, enough is enough. I'm putting too much energy in this. So let's move on. So let's see what's coming up in the current energy for all of you. We have the Ace of Water card. Okay, so this is saying falling in love, the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, a new home. Maybe some of you are moving. Some of you may be doing things with your home environment. Maybe you're refreshing things. We still have Venus in shadow, Mercury in shadow from their retrogrades. So you might still be in the process of refurbishing, reorganizing. I know for me, I'm still in that process. I've gotten a lot done, but it's not finished yet. But it does feel like it's creating this new home for me. And also the same thing with this idea that we are releasing something from the past. Like, we've already been moving in a new direction. We're already releasing it. This is bringing that opportunity for new love, a new relationship, approaching a relationship in a new way. Some of you have recently ended a relationship. This could be with a job, a project, a person, a friend. It could be romantic, but you had to make space for this new relationship to come in. And this could be new love for the things you are doing in your home, the things you are doing for yourself, so that you can really, focus on the self-love as well, is what I'm getting for all of us. So let's see what's coming up in the near future here. We have hey, Angie. Hello, Kim Priestess. Good to see you there. We have the 9 of Earth card. Hey, AC. Good to see you too. This is enjoying life's luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self-employment. So again, this is one of the things that's going to get us where we're going towards our personal power. April, I see you there too. Infinitely blessed. I was missing everybody popping in here. Great to see everybody. How are you all feeling with this energy, this ascension energy? This 9 of Earth is asking us to remember that we can simply enjoy life's little luxuries while we're waiting for things to take shape. There, it's finally getting clear for you there, so you could see it on there. But this is one of the things that I find is really powerful when you feel like you're stuck in a holding pattern, which is not actually true. That's happening for you so that you will look at things from a different perspective. You will see that there are new opportunities. But this 9 of Earth card is saying enjoy that luxury of the standstill. It's space and peacefulness for you, which can be quite a luxury. And I do like to use the example that when my kids were really young, it was such a luxury to have quiet time to sit and read one of my astrology books or take a nap, right? It was truly a luxury to do that, especially my journaling time. I would get up at usually 4:30 or 5 a.m. to make sure I had that time for journaling and reading uninterrupted, because you never knew when the little ones were going to get up, and then it was a mad dash, right? To get everything done and get going with the day. So I still to this day very much value quiet time alone, but also just the little luxuries of being able to take your time doing something. And so since things have been going slowly, as they're saying, like we've been at a temporary standstill, there is that opportunity there to reevaluate, like we have with this renewal card in the subconscious. Where are you pushing something too hard, and where could you slow down and get back into a flow? Because that's really where the power comes from, is staying in a divine flow there. So let's see where your personal power is coming from here. We have 4 of Air. Okay, well, there you have it. I believe we got this card as well on Monday. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation provides answers. So this is what I was saying already from the heart of our spread at the very beginning. Too much work going on. That's what we have is this 10 of Fire here. Ask for help from others. Take a temporary hiatus from all this, right? That's what they're saying. So let's do the pocket affirmation. I easily take time to rest. If you want to write that in the comment section below, I easily take time to rest. And then a second pocket affirmation I have for your personal power is I am open to help from others. I am open to help from others. You may not have realized that you need help, but you can call in that help. I do that all the time when I'm looking for like a coach for one of my kids or even like a team. Like one of my younger daughters loves volleyball, and I'm like, okay, I need to be guided to the right coach and league to put her with. And I will just ask. I will ask my angels. Of course, I always, every morning, sit down with my book of evidence. I start off with the date. Thank you, God, for today. Morning angels and guides. And I do my affirmations and everything, but I ask, please help me find the ideal coach or the ideal team for my daughter where she can thrive. That's in the highest interest of all, right? And it seems like such a simple request, but we do have to ask. And a lot of us are trying to do everything on our own. So that's where your personal power comes from, is by being willing to rest and being willing to ask for help from others. So I love it when we do our pocket affirmations there and make sure that we're taking the time to slow down and understand that we really do have very powerful energy within us to transform things, which is what's happening when we release and move on. So let's see what's going on in our external factors, and we're getting close to moving on to the 12 signs and your bonus message at the end. But yes, thank you all for putting that in the comments. I appreciate it. Helps us remember what we're using as our pocket affirmation today. This is the external factors card. So it says the world. And of course, it's not literal, but I'll tell you what it says on the card: a job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, the path toward enlightenment. This is what's going on our external world. In our external world, we have the world. And so that's why I'm getting that it's going to be important for us to spend quiet time alone, because there is so much going on in the worldwide stage. This is all part of our path towards enlightenment. I was recently asked by a friend, where is this all headed? When we see these upsetting news headlines, we see people arguing, we have people calling us up and saying things to us, and it's stressful. That's when we want to spend that quiet time alone for reflection. But remember that this chaotic energy or this challenging energy we're seeing on the world that's going on outside of us is taking us on that path towards enlightenment. However, we need to make sure we're resting, we're taking this time alone, we're getting a break from it so that we are ready when the time is right. And spiritual alert number 2 for this video: you are a light worker. You came across this video because you have light to share with the world. You don't have to call yourself that. You don't have to have a business card on it. You don't even have to have any particular practice you do, but there was something that called you to be part of this energy and to be aware that we are on this path towards enlightenment. And more people are coming online every single day, and they need you to shine your light so they know where to go, right? This is how we all create unity. I just got angel bumps all through my head, all over the top there. And I love it when we all connect this way and we can feel each other stepping in. And that's what it feels like when you guys are showing up in the lives, when you're so kind to each other in the comments, when you watch it later in recording and put your comments in there. We are creating that unity. We are combining our energy towards that powerful unity, which is creating enlightenment and ascension. That's why we have that topic today of Ascended Masters. We'll be getting to those cards in just a moment. All right, moving on to the hopes or fears card is like what I like to call the two sides of the same coin. We have sorry, I have to move something out of the way so I can see. We have a very happy family life. It's the 10 of Earth. I love this. Financial security, finding things in the, what does it say? Sorry. Finding magic in the little things. It was blurring out on me. 10 of Earth. Okay. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for this stability. That's why it's in this position here. And we might feel like it's taking us a long time to get to that place. We feel like things are stable. That's why we had this challenge card about a temporary standstill or things slowing down. But this is what we're wanting. We're wanting this stability in our home, in our family, in our world, right? The world around us. We want to feel that stability. And that's going to come from you following your heart, focusing on the positive, thinking through the long term. That's been a constant message we've been getting. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Let's start working on those vision boards right now. You guys, when was the last time you updated your vision board? We have this card that's coming up in the near future. Spending quiet time alone is a luxury. Take that luxury to work on your vision board. Spend time daydreaming. What a luxury that is. That's going to help you with manifesting where you're going, and start thinking about where you want to be 5 years from now, because to get there, you've got to start today, but we just do baby small steps. It's not going to happen overnight. So let's see what's coming up in your outcome card. What was I just saying? What was I just saying, you guys? No wonder I got the angel bumps on my head, because it says the outcome is unity. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded people. I am just getting all kinds of angel bumps, you guys, that this is the outcome card after I was just talking about the need to come together. the fact that you are a light worker, the fact that when we all come together like this on these lives, or we talk to each other, or we send love to the stranger in the coffee line, that's creating that unity. So even though on the worldwide stage things might look really scary, we are on the path towards enlightenment. So what you need to focus on is your own environment. How do you feel on the inside? That's the best thing you can do right now, is grounding yourself and making sure that you feel good on the inside so that others can see your light and they can follow you, and we can create that unity. Oh my gosh, so many angel bumps there. I want to give you one more chance to see all the cards on here in case you're curious. And then we're going to go to your all 12 signs because it's, this is where we're going to get a little bit more into the details. There we go. So if you want to take a quick screenshot of that, and then we'll go ahead and clean this all up and start working on the new decks that I have all shuffled and ready to go here. Like I said, when I get ready for these lives, I take my time to shuffle, and then I set my intentions. I say my prayer protection. So they're all ready to go. Hey, Mary Kate, good to see you there. Hello. Hey, Anna. Oh, she's got the angel coffee cup emoji. I love it. Yes, thank you so much. Anna's one of my community members. If you're interested in joining, you can hit the join button below to see the details. There's 2 levels there. And community members, all members, friend of the channel or community, get custom emojis. So thank you, Anna. That's so sweet. And then we always do a monthly member live that are special messages just for the collective. And then, of course, I do pop-up messages. So we had a pop-up message this past Friday for the members, and it's amazing when the angels know exactly who the messages are for because they're already in the community. We get such a flood of detail, so it's super, super fun if you want to check that out. Heidi's one there too. Hello, Heidi. Good to see you. All right, so these are the decks. Oh, they wanted me to do it in a different order, and I put it down wrong. They always tell me what order to do it in too. So this is the Guardian Angel Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine. This is the Ascended Masters deck. It's not in production anymore, but you may still be able to get it. And this is the Unicorn deck. And again, you just have to go online and see. Maybe some bookstores still have them. I always love supporting our local spiritual stores when we can that have card decks and spiritual books and things like that, right? So we're going to go through all 12 signs here. I want to always remind you to please listen to all 12 signs because you really do have all this energy in your chart. It may not be your sun, moon, or rising, but there is one of the 12 houses that's occupied by that energy. So that's why it's so valuable. Plus, it just gives you more guidance, more comprehension. Make sure you are grabbing your journal as you hear anything that resonates. So what's the first card we have for Aries? All right, for Aries, we have 2 of air, indecision, avoidance, confusion. All right, well, happy almost end of your birthday season, Aries. I hope it's been an amazing season for you. Continue to celebrate all summer long, or fall if you're in the southern hemisphere. But there is something you're still needing to make a decision about. You're not really facing the fact that there is a decision that needs to be made. And you know what? We're going to get some guidance from the Ascended Master, but remember that probably the solutions, the things that you've thought of so far, that's not the right solution. That's because when you have a card like this, it's like you're waiting around to make a decision because the 2 options that you have, you're not really that happy about. But there is other options. So let's see what the Ascended Master card is for Aries. We have the Detach from Drama card. And the Ascended Master on this card, Aries, is Pallas Athena, which, if you do follow astrology, there is an asteroid named after Pallas Athena. So you might want to look into that as well. Where is that asteroid in your chart if you're somebody who follows astrology? Or just simply go look up the information about Pallas Athena, and that will give you some clarity. But look, Pallas is holding that sword And it looks like a sword of light in her hand. And look at that. This is a Two of Swords here. So you have an opportunity to find the alternative you want to face an issue, but you've got to get away from that drama, Aries. And I mean, we all do, right? We all have Aries in our chart. So I'm not just picking on you, Aries, but you do need to get away from it all. Remember, in the overall energy, we did have that card of spending quiet time alone and viewing that as a luxury. So it is a luxury to get away from the drama. You need to be at peace to be able to have clarity. So let's see what's coming up in my favorite deck. One of my favorite decks, this unicorn card. Remember, we used it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it says definitely yes. The answer to your question is a strong yes. Okay, what does this mean for you, Aries? Because something you're wondering about, maybe you were thinking like, well, what am I not making a decision about? Is it my job? Is it my relationship? What were you thinking about? Because they're like, yep, it's the first thing that came to mind. And there is a solution. And you've got to listen to your heart. You've got to listen to what your feelings are telling you. We can't keep ignoring how we feel. And we can't just wait around for someone else to make the decision for us, right? All right, that was awesome for the Aries. All right. Moving on to the Tauruses. What do we have for Taurus? Taurus, we have by the way, I don't take reversals, but I was in such a rush today. I didn't get to make all my cards upright getting here for the live. So we have the Lovers card for the Tauruses, relationships, emotions, and choices. So for Tauruses, you've got something going on with especially romantic relationships where you need to make a choice. I'm getting, for some of you, there is something that you have to decide about within a relationship in order for it to go to the next level, in order for it to evolve. For some of you, you are needing to be open and decide to call in these new relationships. And I am seeing that with this particular card, it's a time of change and transformation. There might be something you're letting go. You might be letting go of an ex, or you might be choosing to end a relationship. So let's see what's coming up in the Ascended Master card for Tauruses. We have artistic expression. Artistic expression. And the Ascended Master for Taurus is Paul the Venetian. So definitely go look up Paul the Venetian. But what I'm getting is that you're going to be able to take this relationship to the new level, or make the decision you need to make to either end it or transform it by going and focusing on your creativity, right? This is my line I give you guys that have been with me for a while now, the Under the Tuscan Sun line. Go work on your house and forget about it. The relationship that is meant for you will appear. So if you're going to take some quiet time alone this weekend, maybe go watch Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane. Love, love, love that movie. And let's see what the unicorn card is for Taurus. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. It says, to feel happier right now, think about a memory or something else that makes you smile. Isn't that beautiful? And I want to say that when I bought this deck, I was buying it for the beautiful unicorns on the deck, because always been a huge fan of unicorns, and I think I read somewhere that the deck was originally designed with the intention of being for preteens, where it was pretty easy to and really positive. But I mean, to me, it feels kind of like an answer deck, like it's giving us the answer or the solution or the guidance to find the solution. So for Tauruses and anybody else listening here, you've got to focus on the positive, right? If you're wanting to take a relationship that you're in right now to a new level and stay in that relationship, look for the good in the other person and plan some fun things. Maybe it's time to do some daydreaming about where you two can go spend time together. But also take some time for yourself to be artistic and creative. And that's going to really help with the Tauruses, who are already so creative anyways. All right, let's move on to the Geminis. Get your timestamp here. What's going on for the Geminis? All right. I keep clicking my pen. I keep telling myself, stop clicking your pen on and off. I hope that doesn't bother you guys in the microphone. All right. Geminis, we have King of Earth. Look at that, Geminis. Prosperous, generous, successful. This is great for the Geminis. This is your time, you know. You've got this energy that's inviting you to be confident that you are going to be successful. You've got Jupiter in your sign for a little while longer. It will be moving into Cancer this summer. So you may not really see what Jupiter is doing for you right now at this time. In fact, Chris Reck and I talk about that a lot whenever he's on my channel. We'll talk about the way that you may not experience what the planet is doing for you in a way that you understand it while it's in your sign, but usually you'll find out afterwards, after it leaves the sign, if you can't recognize it. Sometimes you can recognize it, but if you don't, just trust everything is happening for you. And with this King of Earth card, that's really, really positive for the Gemini, saying, you know, you've got to trust that you are going to be successful, and this is going to give you that confidence to keep going. So let's see what we have for the Ascended Master card for Geminis. We have Flow of Prosperity. Look at that, another prosperous card. Lakshmi. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. Please bear in mind, I don't necessarily know how to pronounce all these names, but this is a card completely affirming the King of Fire card about that actually has the word prosperous. So you've got all this good luck and good fortune coming in for you. It's going to require you to make sure you're focusing on being confident. So let's see what the Unicorn card is bringing up for all of you. We have best friends. True friends stick together. Why is it not focusing for me? There we go. No matter what. Probably because of my thumb in the way there. But you need to focus on surrounding yourself with trustworthy friends. Also, what I'm getting for the Geminis with that card is it's saying, don't forget your spiritual team are also your best friends. They're with you all the time. They're your biggest cheerleaders, your angels, your guides, your passed away loved ones. They're cheering you on, Geminis. So everybody here, think about that. You know, think about your spiritual team as your best friend, no matter what sign you are, because there's so much abundance available for all of us when we trust that we have help from others. So that message we were getting in the Celtic cross, it's talking about you can also ask for help from your spiritual team. And I will do that if I'm feeling overstressed. I'll say, angels, help me get all this done, or help me find time to move something to a different day so I can relax and take some more time. So they will often tell me when I ask for help like that, Devon, everything will happen in the perfect time, and they will remind me it will get done. You know what I mean? And so it could be something little as my to-do list, but I do think sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day and we forget our team will help us. They're our best friends. They will bring that support in. So I love that for the Geminis. Let's move on to the Cancers here. Hello, hello. Let's see what we got here with the Cancers. I'm going to check out their timestamp. All right. For the Cancers, we have the Knight of Fire card. Confident, passionate, adventurous. So yes, this is a card where we have to be very focused on the things that bring passion to our life. Like we're able to really go for what we want. And this is for all signs, not just Cancers. Remember that if you are giving too much of your energy to someone or something else and it is not returning that energy, then that is taking you out of alignment. So we want to have that give and receive cycle here. And this adventure card too, what does your heart get excited about doing? And what makes you feel confident when you do it? You're doing the work, you're sharing your passion for something, and you feel confident in that. So that's the energy that they're wanting you to bring in right now. And let's see what Ascended Master we have coming up for Cancers. We have Father, Husband, Brother, Son, Osiris. It's either Osiris or Osiris. I want to say Osiris. So this energy here is letting you know that, you may need to bring in more of the divine masculine energy in order to take advantage of this Knight of Fire card. Now, why is that? Well, Cancer energy is more of a feminine energy, right? It's ruled by the moon. It rules the fourth house in astrology, which is home, family, real estate, the mother, right? So when they're bringing in this divine, this ascended master card here, that's more of a divine masculine energy, you are being reminded you have both within you. And in order for you to really take charge, the way this Knight of Fire card is doing, you need to bring in both energies. So again, not always taking care of everybody else, like they're being their mother, mothering yourself, and also taking charge and having that confidence, because we do need both energies at all times. That's really, really valuable. So let's see what's coming up for the unicorn card. We have listen to your feelings. Well, I have to laugh just because, I mean, Cancers tend to listen to their feelings anyways. That's like, but it says, don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong, right? You can kind of see how this deck is, helping you see where it could be influencing like young kids, teenagers, preteens. What do they call them? Tweens. Because, it is true that a lot of times we'll try to please others. We're doing things for others, and our feelings are telling us, this just isn't right, or I'm feeling taken advantage of, or I'm not sure this person is telling me everything. So what's the first thing that came to mind for you with this? I feel like a lot of us, I'm trying to hold it up a little closer there, but I feel like a lot of us know in particular what this relationship is or what's going on. And that's where we need to trust our feelings on this. And it could be for some Cancers out there listening that you might have to handle a situation with a father, a husband, a brother or son, or somebody who is like a father, like a husband, like a brother, like a son. You may have to handle it in this Knight of Fire way. You may have to be very confident about the way you handle it. You may have to bring more passion into that relationship so that you feel strong. If it is an energy that's challenging, just think things through carefully, because I have heard Chris Reck from Minnow Tarot describe this would be the Knight of Wands. This card can be a little impulsive, right? So that's that passion card there, where we're acting out of passion and we're not really thinking things through. So keep that in mind too. And I'm getting that for everybody, not just the Cancers. All right, let's move on to the Leos. All right, Leos. What do we have for Leos? We have the 10 of Water card. Family, love, blessings. This is something that has been coming up a lot for Leos, because you guys are wanting to move into a new direction with your work, with your career, something you're doing creatively, Leos, and you really need that support of a happy home life, of feeling emotionally supported by your family members, your spouse, your children. You really need that, Leos, in order to be able to move in this new direction with your work or creative projects. So what's the first thing that came to mind for you there, Leos? Because it could be that maybe you need to spend a little bit more time nurturing these relationships. That will allow you to have that confidence to move in the new direction, because this keeps coming up over and over for you guys. So I feel like that's really important. Let's see what Ascended Master is working with Leos. We have fertility, and we have the Pan card. Interesting. All right. So this is also a very fertile time for you to get started with your creative projects, Leo. I mean, that's pretty affirming right there that, hey, the time is now. Take advantage. Now, I will also say tomorrow night, I think it's like 9 or 10 o'clock Central Time, Mars finally moves back into Leo, your sign. And it's been there for a teeny tiny bit, but Mars will be very happy to be back in the sign of Leo, and it's going to be a very fertile time for you, Leo. So let's see what's coming up for your unicorn card here. Love from your parents. Isn't that sweet? It says, no matter what, your mother and your father love you as much as they can. Oh, isn't that a sweet card there? Well, look, we've got this 10 of Cups card here. So even if your mother and father are not with you on this planet right now, on this side of things, you're still being cheered on, right? For you to move in this new direction. Maybe you're looking to have a new child, or you have a new child on the way, and one or both of your parents are not here to support you on that, but they're letting you know they are supporting you and they are with you. So I really love that for Leos. Just remember, you've got to focus on these important relationships here in order to have the confidence to move in a new direction with your career, work, or creative project. All right, moving on to the Virgos. We have for Virgos the Sun card, Virgos. The Sun card. Success, recognition, enthusiasm. The Sun is also, doing things from the heart, right? This is beautiful for the Virgos because you just went through those powerful eclipses, and we have the North Node and the South Node in your sign and opposing sign, right? South Node's in your sign and the North Node's in Pisces. So, this is about doing the things that your heart wants. Follow the things that you're enthusiastic about, the things that you get super excited about doing, and that's going to bring you success. This has come up a lot for Virgos. For the Ascended Master card for Virgos, we have You Can Do It, Archangel Michael. Wow, I love this card for the Virgos. This is reminding you that you are protected on your path. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do with this Sun card, where you're following your heart, you're following your enthusiasm, you have Archangel Michael to help you. However, another message coming through for you, and this goes for everybody listening now, is remember Archangel Michael not only brings protection, but also will help us with energetic cord cutting and shielding ourselves from others who might be, trying to attach their energy in a way that's draining, maybe judgmental. So it might be important for you to spend a little extra time with your daily spiritual practice of cord cutting. So if you're not familiar with energetic cord cutting, I do have a little tutorial available on my website at devonduerr.com, and you can also look it up online. There's so many different techniques. But it is a very valuable part of your daily routine. And as you do these things where you're following your enthusiasm, you may need to spend a little extra day doing that cord cutting, shielding your energy from those external things that we're all feeling. Remember, in the Celtic cross spread at the beginning of this video, we had the World card, inner external factors. So you may need to turn off that TV a little sooner every day. Don't spend so much time listening to those angry podcasts or going through Twitter wars, right? Or X wars, is that what they are now? And let's see what you're getting for your unicorn card here. We have forgive. Forgive. It's time to let go of anger or blame. It's time to let go of anger or blame. Okay, Virgo, so what's the first thing that came to mind for you? It was probably a person. It was probably something you're not forgiving yourself for. It was probably a situation where, you got the blame for something and you need to forgive others for assigning you that blame. And then let's call on Archangel Michael and let's cut cords with that. So pretty straightforward for you Virgos there. Follow that enthusiasm and cut cords from things that you are not excited about. If your heart doesn't light up at it, relationship, job, creative project, it's time to move in a new direction. And again, like I say, that goes for all of us. All right, let's move on to the Libras. What do we have for the Libras? Libras, your card is transformation. This would be the Tower card in the tarot, but I see this as a powerful card, just like Chris Reck does from Minnow Tarot. I'm one of those. Realization, life change, liberation. I mean, how could that not be powerful? The word liberation, which really is in your name, Libra, L-I-B. It's like about bringing balance back to something, and that frees you. So these big life changes or these realizations or these aha moments are going to liberate you. So let's see what we have for your Ascended Master card, Libras. We have find the blessings in your current situation. Krishna. I love that. Krishna. Look at the imagery there. So Libras, this balance, this change, this life change, this transformation, go look for the good things about this. Go find the gold. That's the key. The Tower is meant to be for you, But you got to go look for the gold. You got to go look for the things that came out of that. Even if you can't see everything, it's about counting your current blessings, right? So let's see what we have in your unicorn card. We have simplicity. Put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. Put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. So you've been having, do I have the wrong sign up? I do. I'm sorry, you guys. I have Leo up instead of Libra. Look at me clicking on the wrong L because I didn't have my glasses on there. All right. Sorry, you guys. I'm going to have to really get the timestamps right here because we've been all over the place. Sorry, you guys. Libra, that reading was for you. So hopefully you'll read the timestamps. No, I was just going to say that Libras, you've been going through so much powerful transformation with your work too. So let me just show you again real quickly, Libras. You have this transformation card. You have this Krishna card, count your blessings, and we have this simplicity card here. So what I'm getting for Libras is that you need to clear the things off your desk that are keeping you from the projects your heart wants to do. You need to take the things off your calendars that are keeping you from having the time to work on the projects you want to do. You need to let go of the business associations or the projects where you're collaborating with others that are keeping you from going in the direction you want to go. It's pretty straightforward for the Libras here. I gotta say, because we've been getting these messages so much, even if you go back to the 2025 angel messages, you know, I feel like a lot of Libras just felt like they haven't had the time to do the work that their heart wants because they're overcommitted in other areas. And sometimes this leads to us getting sick or something like that, or maybe even a family member relying on us a lot because we're not paying attention to what our heart is telling us, and we're getting out of alignment and have too much going on at once. So that's a powerful card for you guys to get here, and maybe to look into the energy of finding the blessings in your current situation. That will help you look for that simplicity that the angels are guiding you to do. Well, your whole spiritual team, actually. Alrighty. So now we have the Scorpios. What do we have coming up for the Scorpios? Scorpios, you have the Queen of Earth card. Gracious, practical, capable. And this is a card of getting grounded, you guys. I mean, you're so passionate about things, and when you're committed to something, you're so loyal and you just really love with all your heart. But when we have all this chaos going on in our external environment, like we had the World card there earlier, it can be hard to ground. And you are a water sign, so you have these deep, deep emotions. And it's important to remember that we still have to add that earth energy. We still have to take time to get outside, ground our energy, spend time in nature, spend time with your animals, but also be very grounded with your approach to your material resources, right? This is where you're both offering your time and energy and material resources to people, places, or things that your heart loves, but you're also saving some for yourself, right? We're not giving it all away. There's a balance there. So let's see what's coming up for your Ascended Masters. For Scorpios, you have Nurture Yourself and Mother Mary, the energy of Mother Mary. That's beautiful. See, Mother Mary, that energy can help nurture these deep passion emotions you're having and help ground you. Envision yourself being embraced in the energy and arms of Mother Mary and her grounding you, pulling you into this space of, hey, I am here. You are okay. And that's going to really benefit you. I had a very powerful experience with the energy of Mother Mary when I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico in 2019. And it literally brought tears from my eyes. I was in a little chapel there, and it's just really powerful. I get choked up just thinking about it, but I won't take your time going into the whole story. Maybe that's a story for another time, but it was one of those moments where that was the energy I needed immediately at that point in time. And like I said, it says nurture yourself. So nurture yourself through this energy. Make sure you're taking time to ground. And then let's see what your unicorn card is, Scorpio. All right, we have believe in yourself. See yourself doing well, and you will. See yourself doing well, and you will. So this is another reminder that if you're getting really caught up in the news headlines or what people are calling you up and telling you, or the different fights you're seeing online, stop looking at that. Focus on nurturing yourself and really focus on, the future you want. So we're all getting that. Where do you want to see us all as a collective 5 years from now? And where do you see yourself? Those are going to be the things that help you ground and help you understand where you need to be putting your time and energy, and where you maybe need to take some time away and just nurture yourself. So I love that for the Scorpios. All right, let's move on to the Sages, and I'm going to get the icon right. All right, so for the Sages, what is the tarot card from the Guardian Angel deck that we have? We have Nine of Earth, contentment, luxury, independence. All right, there's something that you are moving away from so that you can take this time to stop and sit in your rose garden and sip your coffee, right? There's something that you are wanting to really break away from so you can enjoy these life little luxuries, this quiet time alone that we all seek and all need. So let's see what Ascended Master is working with Sages. We have teacher. I don't know if I'm going to try to pronounce that one. Mahochohan Rogoksky. Okay, well, my apologies for not knowing how to pronounce that, but the energy is of being a teacher. So this Ascended Master is working with you right now to step into your power as a teacher. What are you doing right now where you're doing? Maybe it's time for you to become the teacher and let someone else do the day-to-day stuff. Let somebody else be an apprentice to you. Let somebody else do a lot of the day-to-day things so that you can go higher and teach your information. So I really like that for the Sages, because I do feel like one of the things that Sages tend to overlook, because they're always going, is the power they have in being still and sharing their experiences with others. A lot of times they'll share their experiences in a teaching way on the go, whereas you could slow down and create that curriculum and really find that time to teach in a way that allows you to have this slower schedule where you're getting to slow down. And I think that's what Sages need right now. And we have the unicorn card is one step at a time. It says, lots of little steps make the biggest dreams come true. We were just talking about that earlier and on Monday's video. See yourself 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? If you want to be there in 5 years, what does that mean where you are in 3 years? What does that mean where you are in a year? And what do you have to do right now to start moving towards that goal? Okay, so Sages, you've got this. One step at a time. I love that for the Sages. All right. It's really easy as adults to think we need to be able to get there faster than we're getting there. But as they said in the overall reading, they said this temporary standstill is happening for us. So for Capricorns, what do we have for Capricorns? We have Page of Air. Truthful, analytical, outspoken. Capricorns have been getting this card a lot lately, and it is usually kind of a card of maybe someone younger saying something in kind of a tactless way because they're young and they don't realize how it sounds, or it could be like new information coming in and it's a little jarring when that happens. It could just be that you have people around you who are very outspoken. They are very ready to share their thoughts, and you're maybe saying, you know what, I really didn't ask. Or it could be, okay, I hear you, but I'm going to do it my way. And reminder here, Capricorns, we've been asked multiple times to start shifting into using our intuition to guide us instead of doing it the traditional way, the way it's always been done. So what do we have for the Ascended Masters for Capricorns? We have, you are seeing the situation accurately. Horus. All right, so what's the first thing that came to mind for you, Capricorns, and anybody here listening? There's something you are seeing clearly and accurately. Maybe it is that the information that came through, you're having this new idea about it. You're like, oh, well, I could do it this way, or this is kind of something that I'm wanting to do. I think I can do it differently. I think I can stay authentic and do it differently. And this is what they're saying. And the Ascended Master is Horus. Oh, I keep forgetting to switch so you can see it. Horus, you are seeing the situation accurately. And what are we having for the Unicorn card for Capricorns? It says, you are gifted, Capricorns. You are very intelligent and talented. Well, I know this to be true about all the Capricorns I know. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Capricorn rising, but I know many of you in the audience are Cap risings or Capricorns, or you have a lot of Capricorns in your chart. So just remember, you're gifted. You're here to share your gifts with the world. You all are. And you are seeing the situation clearly, whatever pops into your mind. So just make sure you're focusing on these new ideas. And it really feels like, you know, as long as you're willing to speak the truth about something, that will help you to stay on your path and you will be intuitively guided. Because I think that's the issue, is just make sure you are speaking the truth, or you're seeing the truth, even if it comes to you in a tactless way. And then just look at it as clearly as you can, but trust that your gifts are going to get you through. All right, let's see what's going on for the Aquas. Pulling up the Aquas here. Got to get these cards off. Aquas. What do we have for the Aquas? We have the Three of Fire. This would be the Three of Wands in tarot. Goals, expansion, vision. This is a card of collaboration, a card of creativity. You know, I am getting for a lot of Aquas, it's about expanding out of your current environment. You have goals that your heart has always wanted to achieve, to strive towards. You have creative projects. You're so creative. You're always working on different things. And I'm really getting that, you know, you can visualize these things, but in order for you to actually start making progress, you're going to have to expand out of your environment. It could be that you are actually moving. It could be that you are leaving a current job. It could be that you're just taking your work into a new direction, maybe not leaving everything behind, but kind of expanding into it. You know, they're kind of showing me like, you know, maybe you've always done things where you were a writer and you wrote blogs, and maybe you did some podcasting where you weren't on camera, and now you're expanding into having a YouTube channel and actually being on camera, and maybe you're bringing other parts of your creativity into that channel. So that's something that's going to be really powerful for the Aquas. Let's see what Ascended Master we have for the Aquas. We have Let It Go, and then Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is the Ascended Master for the Aquas there. What do you need to let go, Aquas? There's something. You know, I'm feeling it. I can feel you guys. You're like, there's something you're like, let it go is what they're saying, because you're meant to expand beyond this. All right. So let's see what you're getting for the Unicorn card. Exercise. All right. It says run, walk, swim, or otherwise move your body. This will give you more energy and happiness. Well, you know, the thing too is also exercising your gifts. That's what I'm also hearing for this. Of course, it's always good for all of us to get out there and ground our energy through exercise. I tend to get a lot of intuitive downloads when I'm moving my body. I actually tend to get more downloads moving than I do sitting. That's me personally. But also exercising these creativity, exercising your right to expand. That's another thing I'm hearing for you, Aquas. You have the right to move in this new direction and do things differently with your vision. And if your vision differs from those around you, this may be your opportunity to say, hey, love ya. I'm going in this direction. I'm going to expand out of here. And, you know, I wish you well. Not that you have to totally cut ties or anything, but it may just be this whole let it go card feels a little bit like you're saying, again, you do you. I'm going to go do me. I'm going to follow what my heart wants. I'm going to exercise my right to do it my way, because you're so creative, Aquas. So love that for the Aquas. Now let's move on to the beautiful Pisces here. Devon said that like a real mother. Thank you, AC. I don't know what just came over me now. I just felt like I had to look you in the eye and say that. Thank you. All right, Pisces. So for Pisces, we have the Page of Air card. Oh, sorry, the Five of Air card. What am I saying? We already had the Page of Air for, wasn't that Caps? Mistakes, melodrama, reassessment. All right. So this is one of those cards that I used to get really hung up on a lot until I asked Chris Reck from Menopon Tarot, and he said, I think it was the last time he was on my channel, which again, if you're just joining, he's going to be here again on the 30th, the last Wednesday of the month. We're going to be doing this time next year. We already decided on the theme because I don't know if you guys were there for the one we did last fall. So now we've gone long enough. We're going to do another this time next year. It's going to be really fun. But I asked Chris about this card because I'm like, even when I read the advanced tarot books and stuff, I still sometimes when it comes through, because I read intuitively, I get a little stuck on it, And what he says is it's really a card of needing to get clear about things, right? And sometimes that means reviewing your mistakes, right? It may mean, hey, in order to know what it is that I really want, I've got to reassess the situation, get clear on what was the mistake I made here. Okay. And then that melodrama word there too is bringing up for me that, it could be that possibly you've been caught in the drama of a situation. Maybe it's you're watching others have drama with each other and you're getting sucked into that energy. So, like I was talking earlier, like watch out for getting too caught up in those Twitter wars, X wars. Watch out for all these headlines where people are being nasty to each other and people are getting in arguments because it's melodrama. It's not really something that you need to be a part of. And it's somehow muddling your thinking. So let's see what the Ascended Mastic card is for the Pisces. We have energy healing and Merlin. You got the Merlin card, Pisces. Yeah, I love that you got the Merlin card, Pisces, because you are bringing so much magic into the world right now. We need you so much with so many light workers coming online. Everybody's psychic abilities are going to the new level, and you guys are going to help us figure out how to handle that because, you guys are already so open and intuitive. And some of you have had to shut them down because of environments and things like that, but you're going to be bringing them back online in a big way. And it's going to be really important that you protect your energy. So the energy healing card, oh, I forgot to switch camera so you can see it a little closer. It is talking about energy healing, but it's also about this idea of how do you protect your energy with so many more people coming online, beginning to understand how to use their intuitive abilities. That's why it's been such a passion of mine. I've got the South Node in Pisces, and I've got, what else do I have there? I can't remember. It's an asteroid. I want to say it's either Ceres or Pallas. But I definitely feel this need to help others learn how to use their natural born intuitive and psychic abilities. It's a calling of mine because I know we're all experiencing this and you have to know what's going on and what's working and what's not. So Pisces are quite a leader for that. Let's see what your unicorn card is and then we'll get to y'all's bonus reading. Decide. It's time to, let me move my finger so it'll straighten up there. It's time to clearly make a decision about what you want. Oh, such a pretty unicorn there. What have you been going back and forth on, Pisces, Have you been thinking about moving? You're like, I don't really want to deal with that. And I don't know where I want to go. Have you been thinking about changing something with your work? Maybe you're deciding to start dating again. Maybe you're deciding to take a current relationship to the next level. But, like I said, I have this Five of Air card here in the energy that you're getting. It feels like you're not clear on what to do, but first you have to make a decision in order to get clear. So it could be that you just need to make a small decision to do some homework, to do the research. That's another thing I'll think of with the Five of any fives is just like, what information can we get that will help us move past this? So maybe you need to have a conversation with somebody. Maybe you need to do some homework, do some research, right, Pisces? And this is going for everybody here. Remember, there are things that a lot of times when you feel really unclear about something, that can be a sign that you don't have enough information. I say that a lot to my parents. Sometimes my parents will call me up and say, we have to do this, renovation on the house because such and such broke and we don't know which company to use. And, I'm always saying, well, get another bid. You don't have enough information. Maybe there's another approach to it. And I feel the same way when I'm really unsure of something. I need more information, especially when it comes to traveling places I've never been before. And I'm like, I don't know, I kind of look interested in going to that thing. That's when I get on YouTube. I start looking for recent travel vlogs. I read reviews. I see what people do when they're there. And these are all things that can be really beneficial as well to helping you gain clarity. So that goes for everybody listening here as we move into these bonus messages, is get more information with anything you're having trouble moving in a new direction with. Because remember, if you missed it, please go back and listen to the Celtic cross at the beginning, because that's a big, big energy right now. Is we're all waiting for answers, and they're really saying the answer comes from moving in a new direction. So what's something you could do to move in a new direction? All right, I forgot to write down the bonus reading time. So we're going to move into the bonus reading right now. Make sure you have your journal ready to write down these actions. Let me show you what these cards mean. I love this daily spread that I do every day. When I sit down, as soon as I wake up, I go get my breakfast and my coffee, and I open my journal and I do the date and I say, thank you, God, for today. Morning, angels and guides. A lot of times I'll write about some other things, and then I will wrap up the energy, wrap up my entry by doing this particular spread. So I created this spread myself, and this card represents the present energy right now. This is the near future. So this could be this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, next few days. And this is what I call the future card, because it can come at any point in time after you hear this reading. But it's basically clarifying some of this energy for us. And then these are your action cards. All right. So I find it's really important to know some actions to take with all this guidance. I have a lot of people say, Devon, that's all fine and dandy. All that guidance is fine, but now what? What do I actually do right now about this? It's a big, big question I get. And I do like talking about that 5-year vision a lot, because in order to know what you can do right now, you have to know where you're headed. And that's up to you. That's up to your heart to do that. All right. So let's check in with the present energy. We have the ego card. Didn't we get this? For those of you who were here Monday, I'm pretty sure, where did this come up? Oh my goodness, I'm just like forgetting where it was. But it says a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that a lot of us still are feeling trapped in some situation, which is just an illusion. And I know this came up on Monday. I know it did, because I can hear myself saying it. But basically this idea, like I'm stuck dealing with this person, dealing with this job, dealing with this situation. And it's like, no, you're really not stuck. That's an illusion. It's all in how you're looking at it. And remember, we did get that temporary standstill card from the challenge part of the Celtic cross, which is saying this is giving you an opportunity to look at things differently. So try not to get trapped in your fears over what's going to happen with your material world if you let yourself go out of that situation, if you break free from that situation. So I think that's going to be really powerful to keep in mind for the current energy as we move into the near future card. So we have the 8 of water, 8 of water, a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual, and emotional growth. All right. So what I'm getting for this energy here, sorry for the switching there. What I'm getting for this energy here is if you're willing to accept that you are not trapped, right? If you can embrace this energy, that's an illusion. You are not trapped in this relationship, job, environment, situation, whatever. If you can accept that energy, then by doing the research that you need to do, you will realize where you want to move on. A lot of times we stay in something because it's habit, because we don't realize we're bored. And the boredom is actually what's making us feel trapped. A lot of times what we're wanting is more challenge. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, but this is coming into my head that, you know, those couples that you hear about or you see, maybe you know some of them, where they seem like they're always arguing or having drama, and you're just like, at some point you're going to get that phone call that they're breaking up, or you're going to see on the news they're breaking up, and then they still go back to each other over and over. It's like somehow they're bored with peacefulness in the marriage, which is not necessarily a healthy thing. I'm not endorsing that, but it's that idea that, you know, they never move on because they like the drama, right? And eventually you do get bored of that. But I feel like this is what this card is really telling us here, is just to remember that, you know, you do have these opportunities to move in a new direction, because that's coming up over and over and over again. But somehow you're thinking you're trapped in a commitment, you're trapped in a relationship, you're thinking to yourself, it's going to be so much work to move in a new direction. So let's get some more guidance here. But just again, remember, you will be provided with what's needed. You've just got to find what it is that you want, and you've got to move in that direction. So the future card we have is the King of Air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. It says, speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, balance mental and emotional considerations. All right, I love this card for the future card. For a lot of us, what they're asking us to do is actually go get that advice. Like I said, go online, look for somebody who's been there, done that, get their advice. Maybe you do need to hire somebody to help you with something. Maybe it's an attorney, maybe it's a CPA, maybe it's a small business consultant, maybe it's a counselor if it's a relationship you're dealing with. But you are going to get these new ideas that are going to help you get out of this situation that you feel trapped by doing that, by getting that advice, by finding somebody who's diplomatic. You know, it's kind of that idea of just finding a neutral party as a sounding board who's going to listen and actually give you good advice. That's what I'm hearing here is going to be really important. I am getting that for some of you listening, though, you're the one that's the King of Air here. You're the one offering this advice. You're the one that's speaking your mind. And actually, that's going to give you that new idea of, you know what? I like doing this. I want to share this with the world. This is something that excites me. This is something that keeps me from being bored on a day-to-day level. It's the kind of thing that gets me out of bed. So all of us should be thinking about those things right now. What are the things that excite you, that make you want to get out of bed early? You know what I mean? And you guys are, for me, I get so excited on the days I have a live. I'm like, yes, I have a live day today. I get to connect with all of you. And I usually am up way earlier than normal. I'm starting my day earlier. On other days, I tend to sip my coffee a little slower, or take a little more time journaling. But on days like this, I'm like, I can't wait to get going. So definitely think about that too, because it could be you that's the one that needs to start that podcast, start that book, start that YouTube channel, and offer this advice to others. So let's see what we have coming up for the action card here. We have the Eight of Air. Eight of Airs, remember, this is an action card, even though it does say an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. That's not what they're saying the energy is. They're saying this is an action. It's time to take action. You know, we don't want to stay stuck in this feeling of being trapped. We want to take action. And what we need to do is we need to have that confidence, right, to take that action. And I think that's the reason we need to either be willing to be the one who speaks up, or we need to go seek that advice, and that's going to really happen. So it could be you need to actually call in that person for you. You know, I always will write in my journal, guide me to the best mentor, guide me to the best teacher, guide me to the best coach, right? And these are the things that the angels will start working on as soon as we ask them to. And I have it in here as evidence that I asked for it. And then all of a sudden the answer or the person will appear. And sometimes it happens in the strangest ways. It's, you know, I'm at dinner one night with some friends, and my friend tells me, oh, I have a new doctor and she's great. And then I find out, oh, well, this doctor's right down the road from me. Maybe that's the person I've been looking for. So keep that in mind too. We can't get attached to the way this guidance is going to come through, but we do need to take that action. Be confident. Don't let these fears hold you back. So what's the second action to take? And then we'll pull this all together. We have the Hermit card. Okay, so we've been getting this card a lot lately, and part of it is because of what is going on in the wider world stage. It says spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So I am getting, for most of us listening here, this is about seeking those mentors and those teachers, but also seeing yourself as somebody who could be a mentor or a teacher to somebody else, really getting clear on what it is. I may have already mentioned this on Monday, but I've recently started reviewing my human design chart again and my family members' human design. I go through phases where I'm like, wait, what's the profile of my older daughter again? And I like forget, and I go look at it again. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense why she's dealing with this right now, and she's approaching it that way. And it brings in this self-discovery of how I can support her. And this could be for anybody in your life, but it looks like all of us are being asked to spend some extra quiet time alone this week and over the next month or so. Things are going to start really picking up in May with the energy this summer. So we've got to get clear on where we're headed right now. That's the big thing. And if you don't slow down and take some of those things off of your calendar, off of your to-do list, it's going to be hard for you to get clear on what direction to go and where you might be feeling trapped and what's the next move, because you are being asked to move away from something. We all got that. So let's move into the overall energy here, just taking a look at all of this together. We have the water card, 2 air cards. And, you know, it's interesting because it does feel like there's all this information flying around. And what's going to be important is to watch your thoughts, you know, because that's where the ego gets involved. And I've been really having to change up my techniques personally. In the middle of the night, I have, you know, I talk a lot about this. I have a live on it where what to do if you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., different practices you can do. And I've said before, I do a lot of different things. I have a lot of different methods that work, but I've actually been trying some new things lately because I'm catching my mind going through my to-do list in such a way that I'm not even able to focus on the technique I'm going to do. Like say I'm trying to meditate or I'm trying to do some energy healing on myself. And then my mind's like, oh, you forgot to put this on the grocery list, you know? And I'm like, oh, come back. It's 3 a.m. I'm not going to go put that on the grocery list right now. I have done that though. I've had to get up at 3 a.m. and go put something on the grocery list because otherwise I couldn't get back to sleep. But for the most part, it's about learning ways, new techniques of quieting your mind. And as we see the wider world stage and the chatter going higher and higher and higher, it's going to be on us, all of you here watching this video, to remember to ground, to remember to go within, to remember to do that self-discovery, to trust your intuition, trust your spiritual team to guide you. And then we can all come together on these amazing lives together, share our light with the world. Here comes the angel bumps again. I got it all up and down my right side. Just don't forget, you are not trapped, okay? You are not trapped. There is a solution. You just may have to go find that advice out there, right? Also, don't do anything that makes you feel bored. If you're unhappy, you're probably bored with something. It doesn't mean you have to just cut someone out of your life or quit your job or give up on a project, but you do need more information. So take that action, stop procrastinating, and do the self-discovery necessary to bring in that new idea and bring in that new approach and really kind of approach things in a way that are going to bring you the confidence that you are meant to be sharing your light with the world. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you next Monday and Wednesday live at 11 a.m. Central. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.